Okay, in this lesson here, what we're going to do is make things a bit more interesting by taking a look at camera commands. Plus, you're going to find that some of these commands are going to become very helpful in demonstrating some of the more advanced commands we'll be using a little bit later on, where we're going to need to take control of our camera and do some, well, interesting things, if you will. So, Logan, let's go ahead and get started with the field of view command.
Okay. Well, field of view, again, implying just what's not only the angle of view, but really that adjusts how much you can see. Meaning if you were to widen out your view, it almost gives the sense of being zoomed back, whereas narrowing your field of view gives the sense of being zoomed in. And this is actually like pretty much what is used on stuff like, say, the lightning or sniper zoom.
Right.
But we have manual access to this, of course, if you're in a single-player environment where you have cheat commands accessible. So we would simply use FOV and then give it some value. Like, let's say, let's zoom way in, so 10. Again, a field of view by default is somewhere around 90. So 10 should zoom us way in.
And that definitely did.
So now, plus what's cool is you can take this even a lot farther than a normal, like, sniper zoom. We could take this to maybe 3.
And that's very zoomed in.
You can almost start to see this mouse sensitivity as it's snap to different units of the mouse.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's kind of cool. It's
awesome.
like having ultra-high accuracy. But, of course, we can use the effect in reverse. We could pull this way back to, like, 130. And now we have a sort of a fisheye kind of look to it.
Now you kind of get that alien-type vision.
Now, this is less useful for testing in general just because it's, like, we're not used to looking at a view that's really warped out like this. Like, if I up to 150, it's a cool effect and all, but generally not used as much when testing. Whereas FOV10 could be very useful if you're, say, looking at the, like, different view modes or checking something as part of your level.
Right.
Just a cool command in general. I'm going to throw this back to my favorite of 95.
Okay. All right, so field of view, very simple, just FOV, and whichever field of view you'd like. And next one, let's take a look at behind view. I know this is a very useful command, especially after you've just brought in your own character and you'd like to check out what the character looks like.
Right. If you want a third-person style view, that's what behind view is for. So behind view, and then we have to specify 1 or 0. 1 to activate it, or 0 to put it back. So check that out. There's our character. Notice as we look around, the character still rotates. So it's basically more like a third-person chase cam now. So we could pretty much still run around a level no problem. Of course, we might lose a little bit of vertical aiming capability, but still, nonetheless, cool for testing, especially cool for looking at characters.
Exactly.
So if I was to bring the console back down and set that to 0, of course, that'll take us back.
Now, by default, you'll also find this bound to a key as well.
Right. As a matter of fact, in 2K4, your F4 button may be bound to a command called toggle behind view. Basically, that makes it a lot easier, whereas before you'd have to specify 1 or 0.
Right.
Toggle behind view could, of course, be bound to a key, so you can simply hit it over and over again.
Which is exactly the next command we were going to talk about anyways.
So, just for visual aid.
Just so that you can see it live and in action. Toggle behind view. There you go. Again,
so
toggle.
Same thing.
Okay, yeah, but you'll find basically the behind view without having to type in a 1 or a 0 already set up, so you can just toggle with the key.
Also kind of cool, in some spectating cases, you may actually be able to jump into the first-person view of the person you're spectating. Again, this may all depend on server settings, but it is possible.
Very cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take a look at something that's a tad bit more powerful. If you didn't want to do a chase cam type setup, you want it to be able to, let's say, freely rotate a camera all the way around a character, you can use a command called free camera. And again, it's expecting an argument as well.
So we'll feed it 1, say, and again, this is a Boolean value, so we could also say something like true.
And now our camera's freed. And demonstrate.
Now, check it out. As I rotate the camera around, the character continues to look where he is. As a matter of fact, without some other keybind for turning the character, he's always going to stay looking that direction until I deactivate the mode. But of course, the advantage here is now we can look at the front of our character.
Exactly.
Or possibly get a closer look at the weapon he's holding.
Right. Very cool. Okay, so with this, let's go ahead and move into our next command, which is view player.
Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is maybe turn free camera back off. Again, another possibility for a Boolean value would be just the word off. Or, well, technically, yeah, maybe that's more of an any type setting. So
right.
You have 1, 0, true, or false. Again, not like 1 and 0 just because it's fast, but with this, now taking a look at the view player command, I kind of need another player in the level, so let me spawn one in real quick. So now we've got a bot running around the level. What if we wanted to do a test, say, spectator-style view over him?
God mode.
Okay, I got you.
There we go.
So we want to take a look at what the bot's doing. So I'll say view player, and then give it the player name. In this case, I added the player named Ravage, so I'll say view player Ravage. Now if I jump away, check it out. So hands-free, spectator, or well, I can rotate around still if I want to, but we have a spectator view of whichever player we want to. So this could be very useful when testing bots, or just kind of cool to know the command if you want to jump through people in a game.
Exactly.